Hi there. I'm really excited to be joined by Connor from GlobalNet. They're a managed IT and cybersecurity services, a leading firm in the UK who we've been working with for the past 6 months, I think. Today, Connor's just going to give a reflection on his experience with lead searchers. And Connor, welcome. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day today.
You're more than welcome, Sean.
So look, Connor, first of all, let's start, maybe just describe like who you are and what you do for work.
Yeah, so we're GlobalNet IT Innovation. Our speciality is IT support, cybersecurity, even telecoms. So we have a good team here behind us, about sort of 10 to 15 engineers who we're able to work across the whole world, to be honest with you, Sean. The majority of our clients obviously are based within the UK, but where we do a lot of remote setup, we are able to cater to companies outside the UK with our remote services. So, as I said, IT support, anything to do with internet, anything to do with emails, and there's no job GlobalNet can't fix. Simple as that, really.
Yeah, thanks for unpacking that. As we can see over the past month, there's been some major breaches cybersecurity wise in retail and legal. So, we've managed to get some pretty powerful emails out to your prospective customers with some pretty good reaction. So, tell me, how did you first hear about my services? Do you remember?
It was at the business show, wasn't it? In Excel Centre, I believe.
Yes, it was. So it was. Okay, yes, I remember.
A
Seems like a long
stand.
time
We had our own stand there. We was there for 2 days. I believe you approached our stand and you spoke to my director, Rob.
ago. Good old fashioned word of mouth. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
maybe you could outline what were you struggling with before signing up? What was your business like?
Our main difficulty was generating leads, to be honest with you. My background itself has always been in sales. So I'm used to speaking to prospects over the phone, face to face. But where we were struggling is I didn't have the leads to speak to in the first place. So that's where you come in and was able to provide us with leads, where we was able to then sink our teeth into and get conversations going.
Absolutely. Leads are always a bit of a challenge in such a competitive environment as cybersecurity. Maybe you could outline how did my services like help you solve what you were struggling with?
Well, it cut out the middleman in a sense where we didn't have to go out and get the leads in a sense. Spoke to the leads, you qualified the leads, and then you passed it over to us to then do our work. So from my point of view, all I had to do was confirm the information you provided to us. And then from that, we then went to the next stages without having to deal with 55 different gatekeepers to get one yes or no.
Sure. So it kind of cut out that extra graft that you have to do,
Correct.
kind of cold calling and getting on the phone and doing all that stuff that people sometimes find a bit exhausting.
Yeah, you made my life a lot easier, that's for sure.
Well, that's the idea. That's the idea. Maybe you could take me through. We've had a few meetings. What was the standout meeting that you've had that I generated for you?
Funnily enough, Sean, it would have been the very first one you ever gave us. It was a solicitor firm.
Right.
They had three offices across Kent and London. It was all managed by one IT person who was, in nice ways to put it, very overworked and very overstressed. So we was able to go in, perform a penetration test, which outlined numerous amounts of issues. And from that, we've then been able to provide a price and a quotation for them to use our services. We haven't been able to get this deal closed yet, but funny enough, we're due to speak with them at the start of next week. And that's when myself and Rob are going to try and go for the kill and try and close the deal. So that would have been the best meeting we've had, the most powerful one, because from start to finish, we haven't had a single objection from this company yet, which is good.
Sounds really hopeful, really positive. So it sounds to me like, you have got like a lot of my clients have, they've got quite long sales cycles. You go in with a penetration test, you prove value, they sit back a while, they look at it, and it doesn't happen overnight as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on.
Some of
This isn't the type of product where you can go in as a stockbroker, for example, and then say, I've got this on the market, how much do you want? There's discovery calls, there's qualification meetings, there's the actual meeting itself where we try and ascertain what they need. And from that, again, we don't just go straight in with the solution. We take that from the information they provided us, we then conjure up what we believe the best solution would be, and then from that we will go back for which may be the fifth or the sixth meeting.
So yeah, well, basically, watch this space. No doubt the revenue will be following behind the meetings that we've generated so far, and you've got your opportunities in the pipeline that at the end of the day you wouldn't have had we not been doing the program. Would that make fair enough?
Absolutely, yeah, correct.
Okay, great. No, I mean that's really, really interesting. I mean, what other milestones, if any, have you achieved since we first started doing business together? And I mean, maybe can you think of any other way, we've made your life better, we've made the business better? Any other improvements you could share with other people thinking about using email at scale?
I mean, what I would say is you've kind of given us the opportunity to kind of offer a different service, but you gave us that retail lead once where what they was looking for wasn't something we currently provide. However, upon speaking to the prospective client, we've then decided maybe this is an avenue we can look into because they had offices in the US where they require 24-hour service. That's not currently a service we provide, but by having that meeting which you generated for us, kind of made us think, well, maybe this is an avenue we need to go down. In a way, you've broadened our horizons by making us think about
Right.
offering
Okay.
in
Well,
other
that's
services as well.
yeah, that's really useful to understand that. So, I think it was we had some things in the news with Marks and Spencers, with Harrods, with a few retail companies. The co-op were breached and hacked. Pretty serious things were happening in the retail space. So I went ahead and did a retail campaign, not your normal sweet spot. But what you're
Correct.
saying, I think that was the sector. Then you decided, we can do something in this because you had some good meetings generated. Is that right?
Yeah, it's not something we've put in place as of yet, but it's now, for my director anyway, is something he's put in the back of his mind thinking maybe this is an opportunity we should target down the line. And we wouldn't have done that unless we had that lead.
Excellent. Well, that's really good to know. That's really positive information. I think getting through to people on the cold email, especially when it comes to cybersecurity and all those what are normally kind of what we call spam keywords that trigger spam, was kind of a very difficult avenue to gauge because I had to use words that weren't triggering spam. We wanted to get you in the inbox. So I think it was a success, the collaboration. We managed to word the campaigns in a way that were communicating the danger and the cybersecurity aspect without actually going into the junk folder. I think, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
excellent.
Yeah.
So listen, we're coming down to land now, but I don't know. I mean, what's one piece of advice you'd have for other clients? I mean, to get the most out of our services.
I would advise to have a strong and already know your target market you're looking for. Absolutely. Where you and I, Sean, we've kind of changed our approaches a few times. I feel like for a company to be very successful, it'd be better for them to have a strict guideline on the type of company they're looking for. And that make your life easier as well because you know what to go for.
Yeah, I think that's really useful insight. So it's what we call the ICP, or the ideal client profile. I think we've learned that along the way, that we were a bit loose to begin with, but then we've tightened up. But we're still going. We're still getting in the inboxes, and we've still got people interested. But it is a slow mover, isn't it? It's one of these grudging purchases. Oh, I've got to do cybersecurity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a drip drip effect, isn't it?
Yeah, the thing, what we find with IT is even if a company's working with another organization and they're terrible, they're not necessarily going to change there and then because sometimes it's more hassle than it's worth. Even if that IT company isn't great, there will be certain parts they are good at, and that will then outweigh the bad parts of it. So that's when it's really difficult for us to go in and say, well, we're great at all of it because they don't then want to have to do the changeover and build a relationship with another company, especially if they've been with that same company for 25 years, they're not going to want to change for love nor money.
Yeah, so really, it's really relationship building, opening that door early. I mean, I've had clients that have netted sales, 6 to 8 months to 12 months after the first contact, and they've told me, rung me up, and say, look, we got that sale in. And some of the clients I'd stopped working with, and they're telling me
Yeah,
how they'd won a sale ages afterwards. So yeah, I mean, what you're saying is very true. It's not always that time you sell at the time, but they get to know you, you keep in touch, you put them in your CRM, you keep dripping with more information, and they can come in later. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Excellent. So finally, I mean, just to finish up with, Connor, I mean, I don't know, what would you say to someone who is considering working with us?
I would say it's worth a go. The reason why I'd say that, obviously, as I said, Sean, I've worked in sales 12 to 15 years now in multiple different sectors. More or less every single one of them, we've had some kind of lead generator or lead provider there. Now, a lot of the lead providers we've worked with, they're in it for them to make their money. Now, I'm not saying you're not in it to make your money. Of course you are. But however, the way you've set it up is you only make good money if we make money ourselves and we get good meetings. So that then incentivizes you to provide us with those good meetings. Whereas, like me personally, I've actually, funnily enough, worked for a lead generating company before. This was 10 years ago or so. And when I was on the phones creating these leads, I didn't have much care whether these leads went anywhere because my job was done after that point. Whereas you're a bit different in a sense where you need that meeting to be quality. Otherwise, ourselves and other people won't work with you again. So for you, it's more of
No, that's interesting.
quality over quantity, which is really important.
Well, it's all about, yeah, it's kind of like unlocking that secret code sometimes,
Sweet
because
spot.
you never quite know what messaging is going to resonate with people at the time. So, I mean, it has been a slow start with GlobalNet. I mean, I'm not going to make any secret of that. It's not been easy at all. But sometimes it isn't
I
easy.
told
But
you it
if we
wouldn't be
stick in
easy
there,
as well.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. You've got good opportunities in the pipeline. We're still there. We're still connecting you to prospects. And I believe that, there's better things to come in the future. So look, I mean, I really appreciate the feedback, Connor. And I believe that's really going to help someone understand about how email at scale works. And it'll give them the insight they need. Did you have anything else to say to finish off with, or?
No, I think it's been a pleasure working with you, Sean, and hopefully we continue to do so for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to crack on with the campaigns. And as we speak, we're switching sectors now because of what's happening in the marketplace. So we're actually being proactive, and we're moving from, I think we're moving from the legal sector back into manufacturing literally at the moment, because we think there's going to be more fruit on that side of things. So yeah, it's all about pivoting when you need to. And I
Absolutely.
really appreciate your collaboration, Connor, in the program. And you've been a pleasure to work with and very responsive. And I think that's the key for a lot of partnerships like this, is having that collaboration aspect. And we're
Absolutely.
working together for the same aim. Yeah.
Absolutely indeed.
Excellent. Okay, Connor, look, I really appreciate again you taking time out to share, and have a great day, and I'll speak very soon.
No worries. You take care of yourself, Sean.
All right. Cheers.